Good evening, wonderful people. It is Tuesday, March 11th, 2025. We are live right now. God saw fit for us to be here tonight, and we're grateful. We are in honor of Him for deciding us to be here tonight. I need you to do me a favor. Let somebody know that we are live on the Facebook page. We are live on the YouTube channel, which is the name of the show. Please like, share, and of course, subscribe. We are live on Twitch and we are live on X, formerly known as Twitter. As I always say, I believe in 6 degrees of separation. You're literally one person away, one advice away, one help away from where you need to be in your destiny. Proven over and over again since I started this show in 2020. And also, I have some of the dopest guests on here on this side of heaven every time we go live. And tonight is no different than any other night. So I need y'all to sit back and get relaxed because you don't want to miss this conversation. I promise you, you don't. So I have personally experienced this young man in worship, him playing his instrument, and I was so impressed. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was like, excuse me, sir. Do you do interviews or conversations or podcasting? Because I need you on my show. I was that impressed with his worship, and I knew that it was genuine. And all I can say is you needed to be in the room because he definitely he shifted the atmosphere. I will say that for sure. Let's get into his bio and then we're going to properly welcome him to the show. Y'all ready? I know you are. Caleb, known for his impressive vocal control and that $1 million smile. Go ahead, give it to him. That part. He is a talent beyond his years. A native of Metro Detroit, Caleb has been singing since he was 6 years old, getting his start in his church youth choir, as most of us do. So, since then, Caleb has continued to develop his craft, making his way onto the national stage in 2015 after being selected from a countrywide casting to perform America the Beautiful at the U.S. Open. At the U.S. Open.
Yep.
At the U.S. Open in New York City. Caleb has also performed at the America's Thanksgiving Parade and sung the national anthem for a basketball superstar, LeBron James, and the Cleveland Cavaliers at both regular season and playoff games at the request of team owner Dan Gilbert, who originally heard Caleb sing at a high school basketball game in Michigan. Simply put, Gilbert said. This is what Gilbert said. I'm reading it, but this is what he said. He said, this kid with the $1 million smile, that boy can sing. So what I need y'all to do, Village, because I'm not going to read all of that. I need y'all, you already know, wherever you are, I need you to stand up, put your hands up, get ready to say what I need you to say. If you are in your car, I need you to safely pull over, roll down your windows, and if you want to, you can get out. I need y'all to stand up, put your hands up, and get ready to scream, wake up, welcome, 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 Caleb, to the show.
Appreciate you, sunshine.
Absolutely. That was a lot of energy that came out of me that
I
time.
know, I could tell. Yep.
Goodness gracious. That was a lot. So, now that we got the intro out the way, we got the village tuned in. Let's get into this wonderful conversation that we have been waiting all day to get into. Welcome. Of course, those who are chiming in, please say something. Let us know that you're in the building. Also, do me a favor and keep sharing.
Please.
I need all of y'all to keep sharing. So the first question on the books is, you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
Let's get it going.
So the first question for Mr. Caleb is, how did you grow up?
Yes, ma'am. So yeah, I grew up in a my with my parents, both my parents, my mom and my dad and my brother. So I have one brother, and I grew up first off. I grew up in the church. Was born and raised in the church. Grew up around a big family. I have like tons of cousins, and so I got the experience of you know being a child, being a kid, playing football, basketball. What else? And yeah, like I said, I grew up in the church. I started singing at 6 years old, and with that being said, I got started singing at 6 years old, and then when I was older, I got to sing a part of. I was a part of the uh, youth praise team at 10 years old, and then at 12 years old, I was a part of the adult praise team, and from then on, that's when I started getting the experience of leading worship, and and with that being said, I church is part of my culture, and that's where I get like my identity, and a lot of that carries over to everything else that I do, So, and I grew up. I was born in Southfield, Michigan, and and that I moved to West Bloomfield Township, and now I'm in Shelby Township. So, and I had a great upbringing with both my parents. Very loving and caring to me and my brother, and because my brother is also an artist, and so we both are artists in the household. So, we very creative in in what we do. So, and my parents, they gave me a lot of room to be able to explore that. Like I said, of course, that was in church. For me singing on the pulpit and experiencing what it's like to lead worship, singing, and all of that. So that's kind of how I grew up. So in a short sum.
So let's go back some.
Yeah,
So
let's do that.
at 6.
Mhm.
So before that, did you know you could sing?
Not me. So my mom was the one who discovered I had the ability to sing. I was just being a kid, and then I was singing in the choir. And I do remember some memories of me just singing and you know and hearing some melody coming out. But my mom was the one who was like, "Oh yeah, you can sing. Let's get it going." Because my mom was over the music department at my
Mhm.
church, at Lamb Christian Church. That's where I grew up. Where my grandfather was the bishop and my uncle was the pastor, the senior pastor now. And so when my mom discovered that I could sing, that's when she put me out there to start developing my craft. So
So basically, you wasn't one of those kids that fought. Because sometimes as artists, we tend to fight our calling.
mhm.
So
Yeah,
obviously, we're hearing from you that you didn't fight the call.
yeah. So I didn't. So like when I was a kid growing up, I was singing and everything. But then my mom, she was like trying to get me to sing, and I was like kind of resisting it. Not I was just like I didn't want to sing, as a kid, but because I wanted to play basketball, football. I was very into that more so. But my mom was there just to push me to sing, and it wasn't even until later my mom and then realized that I had a calling to do this because I had the voice and everything. But at 10 years old, when I was singing, that's when in a service, that's when my mom and both my parents realized, oh, he has an anointing to do this. God has called him to do this. And ever since then, that's when I was, and got as I got older, that's when I realized, oh, this is what God has called me to do. And I did not resist it from then on. But as a kid, I was, at being a kid, you're interested in doing lots
Yeah.
of things. And my parents helped govern that to help me bring out what God has called me to do.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yes,
We're
ma'am.
gonna put that in our back pocket.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna come back to that. So the next one is, tell us a I remember when story. It could be from anything.
Yeah. You asking some good questions. All right.
Of course, I make
I gotta think. I remember when.
Mhm.
So that's a good question. This thing. I remember when the first time I led worship. It's a very specific moment, and I remember I sung "O Zion," Fred Hammond. And that was kind of like my first time leading worship for the youth praise team.
Mm-hmm.
And my first me and my mom I had to practice the the it's a intro that does on that song, and I remember I had to practice that over and over again with my mom, and then the moment that I did it when I got on stage, it was just um it was like crazy for me to like really do it in that moment, just uh I think I can't hear well I heard something, but when I was a kid, when I was singing the Fred Hammond song, it was just a lot of energy that I was releasing in that moment because it was new to me. So, and when I was doing that, it was crazy. I was just releasing the nerves that I had in that moment, and then letting God use me. Just it was my first time getting to experience that, um, being on a stage and ministering as a kid. So
The good thing is that even in maybe possibly being nervous,
yeah,
sometimes being in a place where is this really me or is this God? What is he doing?
yeah,
I've had artists on here who actually had visions of themselves later on in life, but
yeah,
as a kid, they saw themselves as ministers. They saw themselves singing. They saw themselves in a room full of people receiving the gift from them.
mhm,
Um, and sometimes we find out, as since I'm much older than you, that gotta start teaching us as kids, and then later on in life, we're doing exactly what we were doing as kids as
mhm.
fun. Now it's part of our life. So I'm glad that your parents put you on um, the journey,
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
that you could have been doing anything or
Yep.
nothing at all,
Mhm.
but they saw something in you um, that caught their attention. And as we say, ministry starts where?
As a child
I was looking for that one too, but ministry starts where?
at church.
Ministry starts where? At home.
At home, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna edit that part out because
Yeah, please do.
well, I'm not. Anywho, so yeah, so ministry starts at home. So
Mhm,
I was glad that again, uh, they helped to develop you
mhm,
into the wonderful sound that you are. Um, and it's a good thing in this season, especially in this season, to see a young man sold out to God
mhm.
and really going forth in ministry. Like I said, I experienced your worship, which entailed to me that you have a relationship with God, not just up there with a microphone, not just up there with a guitar, but really experiencing God for yourself, which spilled
Yeah,
over into the audience
right.
who was not just looking at you, but immediately began to worship with you. And so that's not an easy thing to do,
Yep.
and it takes time, it takes practice, it takes all these things, but most importantly to actually have the relationship with him. And it makes everything different, it makes everything easier when you really truly genuinely have a relationship with him.
Yes, ma'am.
So thank you for that story.
Yeah.
um the next one, when destiny calls, what are you doing?
Mhm. Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, so with that, when destiny calls, what are you doing? Um, a lot of us is not doing what we're supposed to be doing, if you want to keep it real. But when destiny calls, I feel like um, you have to answer, ask the right questions for yourself. Um, for me, when destiny called, I was at church in a one moment where my uncle was preaching, and he was preaching on a message that said, choose me now." And I remember there was a huge weight on my shoulders in that moment, and I couldn't explain it when I was going through it, because it was an overwhelming feeling, and I just knew God was speaking to me in that moment, because He wanted me to choose Him. And I was going through certain things at school. I was playing basketball and all different sports, football, running track, and God was in that moment calling me to Him. And in that, when I realized God was calling me, I had to choose between certain things, and it wasn't like, nothing crazy. It wasn't nothing bad. It was just, do I want to do this, playing basketball or football or any other profession, or do I want to fulfill the call that God has placed on my life? And
Ooh, you just said something right there.
he said, choose me now. So, and in that, when I was feeling that weight, I went down the aisle at altar call, and literally as I kept walking, that weight started coming off my shoulders, and I just began to weep. It was intense, and I just knew at that moment God was like really letting me know I need to choose Him, not because. And it also, my uncle, he gave me some good advice. He said it's not I'm choosing Him because of my gift per se, but it's because He wants me for Himself.
Mm,
He wants us for Himself. So that was a destiny call for me in my life.
absolutely. And I like the fact that it happened early. For some, uh, we didn't get it until life started happening at
Mm-hmm.
20 something, 30 something. And then we want to say, okay, God, I done did what I wanted to do. And now there's you.
Exactly.
No, but to hear your experience with God at a young age is amazing. Um, and to be able to have the strength to turn down or turn off the
Mm-hmm.
world,
Yes.
which is not an easy thing to do if you're
Mm.
not focused. So for you to even have the spiritual ear to hear it
Yeah.
is even to be commended.
Yeah.
And again, in ministry at a young age where you see other youth who might be struggling or on the fence of, is this God thing real? Or there was a point when I thought it was just a fairy tale until I experienced God myself.
Yep. 100%. 100%. 100%.
So, in our testimonies that God allows us to go through, you understand this is not just a story. He really did what He said He did.
Mm.
He really is who He says He is.
Yeah.
And we would, admonish people, don't have to go through all the bad stuff
Mm.
to acknowledge who God is.
Yeah.
He really,
100%.
really do love you. And He really, really do have a great plan for you if you choose Him.
Mm.
So yes, that just, I think my dimples are out. Are they out? I think so, from smiling so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. I like that.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, let's see. Who, dead or alive, would you love to do a collaboration with?
Oh, so I had a, cou- I have a few.
I'm
It's hard
listening.
to just name one. Um, the first name that comes to my mind is Marvin Winans. I would love to do
Ooh.
him, because I actually sang at his church a couple of times, and he was one of the singers that I studied and like listened to. We had the tone. My tone is like similar to his, and like our sound and everything. So he was someone I listened to and aspired to sing. All the technicalities of how he sings and everything is amazing. And I actually wrote a song with him in mind. I was like, he would kill this song, and And then another artist that I was thinking about is Jonathan McReynolds. Also, just because there's similarities there, just how I write my music, very conversational, very intellectual, and he writes just the same way, very conversate, like in a conversation, and he plays guitar as well. So it just I feel like we would vibe great together. Who else? Uh, just and also like worship artists like Chandler Moore. Uh, uh, who else? Todd Delaney, Travis Green, all them because these are people I looked up to when I was as a kid, growing up listening to Travis Green, Ty Tribbett. I did a lot of Ty Tribbett songs when I was as a kid leading worship. So yeah, these are like those are like my top artists that I would love to collaborate with.
I will say this. So
Mhm.
there was an artist who was on the show,
Yeah.
and she loves Missy Elliott.
Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah.
She posted the show,
Mhm.
and Missy Elliott reached back out to her.
Yeah. That's big time.
So stranger things have happened.
Right.
That's all I'm gonna say. Who knows? You might get a call from or a message from Jonathan McReynolds or
Mhm.
Marvin Winans. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah.
And then you're on the path. You're
Exactly.
on. Um, I am a big firm believer in speak those things as though they were.
Yep.
Big time.
Yeah.
And don't let go.
Mhm.
Don't let go. Even if it takes 5 to 10 years from now,
Yeah. That's real.
God ain't a liar.
Mhm.
And at the right time, at the right space, it'll happen. No, nothing hard. You just walked into it.
You preach. You preach.
It has happened several times on this show.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. My disclaimer for you is, once you off my show, you get stupid busy.
Yo, you told me that when I first met you. You told me
I
too.
did.
Yep.
Oh, see, I promise you, just be like, dang, I used to have. No, you ain't gonna have no time no more, sir. Sorry. So get ready. That's all I'm saying.
All right, good.
Yes, Detroit is in the house. Of course, everyone that's on, hi, hi, hi. Of course, share. Um, yes. Oh, we getting to the good stuff now. What is something people would be surprised to know about you?
Um, that's a good question. I don't know. I so surprised. Oh, I can. I mean, I can say this. So I'm in school right now, finishing up my senior year, and even though you won't be surprised, but what I'm doing. Say it
Wait.
again.
Senior year and what?
College. Yep. So, and I'm going to school for Christian ministries and
Hmm.
study, some biblical studies and studying ministry and everything. So, even though it may not be a surprise, but at the same time, it's like because as an artist, uh, when I first was when I graduated high school, I wasn't like thinking about going to school. Really, I was just like, should I go to college? I was like, if I do go to college, I would want to go study the Bible, and that was something that was a road that God was taking me on to get deeper understanding of Him and get acclimated to His Word and get more experienced in knowing how ministry works, so that as God is taking me to different places in my journey, I will be equipped with knowledge of how to speak to people, how to minister to people, because it's ministry is deeper than just what we may experience, but understanding that there's wisdom that comes from studying God's word, studying how ministry works as a whole, and I with my experience of growing up in the church and also adding on to what has been studied for many years, that I feel like those two together, it brings out a lot of more knowledge and wisdom to be able to operate in. So, which, like I said, it may not be a surprise, but at the same time, some people are like, "Oh wow, you gonna?"
It's good. Again, God calls for the youth.
Mhm.
When you have the energy, you have the strength to do things that some adults can't do anymore. Somebody got to lead. Somebody got to go. Um, I've learned um, during the times of studies in the jungle, when it comes to pray,
Mhm.
they go after the elders and the babies. Why? Because it's hard. It's easier for them to attack them.
Mhm.
Those who are right in the middle, they're gonna put up a fight. It's not just going to be a roll over and die kind of thing. And
Mhm.
so with the strength that you have and the courage and strength to go forth in ministry,
Yes,
to get
sir.
all the knowledge and wisdom and make it to your own, cuz you are the church. So when you're out and about and somebody see you, as you said, your $1 million smile, they'll want to know who you are, and that's your opportunity to minister.
Mhm.
um and you'll find it more and more, even when you're just sitting there and God sends someone to have a conversation with you just out
Mhm.
of the blue, or when you're sitting there and you're putting pen to paper, and because you know the word,
Mhm.
your creativity adds on to that, and then you have awesome powerful lyrics.
Right.
um and also even with the word and the lyrics and how you sing it and going forth,
Yeah.
you breaking chains, you
Yes.
helping deliver somebody. So again, I thank God for your life, and um you staying on the path.
Yeah.
um yeah, I don't know, LeBron might find you. Who knows? Bronny might find you and be like, listen, he's struggling.
Mhm. That's
And
right.
it could be, who knows how God gonna listen. I
Yep.
seen him do it. You'd be surprised, like, why me? Why me? Why not you?
Yes, ma'am. Yep.
Athletes need God too.
Everybody need God. Yep.
I'm
Everybody.
just saying, I'm trying to, connect the dots so they can see. It's good to be able to have a conversation with anybody about anything
Mhm.
and bring it back to God. We might start talking about sports, but then you give them what they really need.
Mhm.
I'm just saying, that's how it.
Yeah. It's facts. It's facts.
I'm just saying. My next question: why do you continue to do what you do?
Yeah, 100%. The reason why I continue is because I see how God is moving. God is continually revealing, um, Himself. One thing that surprises me every year, um, as I'm continuing in my career, my calling, God continues to just blow my mind each year. There's moments of, because I sang for the Detroit Lions. Um, since I was 16, and each year there was an opportunity that came from that, and as I continue to progress, there's opportunity that came out of that, and I just see the hand of God and the favor of God with me as I continue to strive for Him in my private time and as I do in my career. So because that experience of singing at the Lions led to me singing at the draft, the 2024 draft that was actually hosted here in Detroit. And because they was looking for a singer, they was like, "You guys got any singers that you guys would feel that would be do this justice?" And they mentioned my name, and so I had the opportunity to sing at the 2024 draft, and literally I just see God moving in these ways, and it starts from the relationships and you know connections and stuff, and I see that. God's got my back. You know, in short, saying God's got my back. And I know there are moments when I, feel like, oh wow, is God really there? This, that, and the other. But you know, in the end, God's gonna show up and show out. So He has been doing that every year. So
Yeah, just I warned you, so that's all I'm gonna say about that.
yeah.
Um, and then you can come back and tell me, like, yeah, Sunshine said,
Hmm.
mm-hmm, you about to be booked and busy.
Yes, ma'am.
For you, what does a balanced life look like?
It's good. I'm starting saying I'm younger, so I'm still learning a lot. I'm 23, but I know like a balanced life concerning like you know a life for God, and even and then being in this world, you know, you got to be honest with yourself in both areas of life, as far as spending time with God in your Word, and you know really establishing that relationship, letting God know I want to talk to you, I want to have a conversation with you, and of course the Bible is our source, primary source of how we do that, and also being relational, being connecting with people, and even if they aren't Christian, you connect with them because God is with you, and He knows them better than you know them. So, and having that balance of you know I'm what's the word I am grounded in God's word, and also I'm grounded in God's community, being a part of a church, and having a home to go to. It makes it so much easier for us. I have a purpose that God is speaking to me through my community, and then when I go out into the world and then I establish relationships there, I know God can use me to create connections, friendships, and everything that is useful for Him and useful for me, and and is useful for everybody. So a balanced life, that's a broad question, I feel, but for me and how I see it is, having a community of faith, so that as other relationships come in life, you know how to treat those relationships, and you know how to see through the lens of um that through the God's lens, so
Okay,
yeah.
that's good. So, have you had experience where other youth or someone younger than you
Mhm.
have come to want to have a conversation with you of Caleb, how are you doing this? Like, tell me the steps, or
Yeah.
how I'm dealing with
Mhm.
life. I'm dealing with depression. I'm dealing with
Mhm.
these things, and I don't want it no more.
Mhm.
What do you say?
Yeah. First, I let them know. I speak first from my experience, because that's the best thing you can do, is to speak from what you know and let God do the rest. But what I say to them, if it's concerning life, I give them Jesus. I let them know Jesus is who I live for, and I've done the work, and I am doing the work to understand how God wants me to live. And because when we take life in our own hands, it's easy for us to um, put ourselves into predicaments or situations that can become overwhelming to us. And I just give them Jesus, so, and knowing that He's the one who lived the perfect life, and He's the one that can rescue us from ourselves. You don't want to take your own life and lose it. You want to give your life to God so that you can find Him, and it all starts there. That's the foundation. That's what I give to them. And yeah, so that's just from a life standpoint. But I give advice as far as music career and everything like that too. Whether it's how do I get on stage? I'm nervous because I think that's a big thing. People wrestle with, as far as like stepping out in front of people is nerves, and understanding that you have to put yourself in the situations or the arenas to you know confront those nerves that you have. You have to put yourself in a position to um, practice, and because practice, when you practice something, the more you do it, the more comfortable and the more it becomes second nature. So you don't have to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's with anything. If you are nervous, or you experiencing doubt, or resistance, it's putting yourself in the position to practice those nerves out of your system. Because nerves, you can't control nerves. That's something that we all have. So yeah.
So what age did you actually professionally become or
Mhm.
became an artist?
Artist. Oh, that's a good question. I think I first released my music, my first EP in the year 2022. So as far as an artist, I would say 2022. But as far as singing, as a singer, I've been professional since I was 12. You know, since I was leading worship at my church, and then I started getting on the public stage of singing at the Detroit Tigers and um, Detroit Lions and other I started off at colleges, and that's when I was doing that professional arenas. When it was at 12. So
Okay.
yeah.
So I know as artists, of course, we're always asked the question, who do I need to know? Who, those type of what's the hookup? What do I need to do in order for this to
Mhm.
happen for me? I
Right.
know the answer, but what would your answer be to that person?
So like you said, rephrase the question. So you said like
So
how
what do you say to a person who's asking you, um, how do you get the hookup? Or what's the steps in order for me to get basically the favor that you
Mhm.
have for these doors to open for me? What are you doing?
Yeah, gotcha. From a practical standpoint, um, I would say utilize social media. Social media is the biggest tool right now. And my work, like far as my opportunities singing at on like for the Tigers and the Detroit Lions and the Pistons, that came from that all was birthed out of me posting a video on YouTube of me singing the national anthem, and my dad, you know he's my manager, he sent it around, and that's when it starts sparking uh, uh, reactions from people, and they were like, oh, can we get him to come sing the anthem for this game? Or and also as far as like I sing at different churches around the country, and that was birthed out of me posting videos of me singing at my church, and people seeing a young boy who's leading worship, and is a worshiper. And that came the connections that came from that was YouTube and Instagram, and just connections like locally as well. People that see me at my church. You got. I feel like the main point is you got to get involved.
Mm-hmm.
Let people know where what you can do this. Like show people your potential. And I for as a singer, it started in the church, and for most people, for most artists, it started in the church where they were getting the experience, because you had
Mm-hmm.
to develop experience so that people know, like, oh, he's been doing this for this amount of years, so we should utilize this person because they have experience and they have knowledge for what they are doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So it's also the big word of being consistent. Um,
Mhm.
Putting yourself in winning situations, basically, um, having the right attitude, being humble, all these
Yeah,
wonderful.
that's all that. Yeah, I could go on, like, yeah, humility is a big one. Because even while you're developing your confidence, it's easy to get um, prideful and get
Yeah.
so engulfed in yourself, because you see that you have a gift, or you see that you're efficient at something, and that humility is such a life-changing thing that God enables us all to do. And that takes practice, and it takes consistency. Humility is a thing that we often overlook, because it's like you do have to display like a confidence about yourself, as
Mhm.
people that attracts people, but at the same time, don't be so prideful that you're not willing to learn. That's another thing is being willing to learn from your elders and being willing to learn from those who have experienced something before you, because that's how that's how you capitalize on your gift and your calling or your craft, is learning from people who shown themselves experienced in a certain area.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I thought it was very important to bring those aspects up, because some people just think just because you're gifted that you're entitled, and that's
Nope.
not how that works. Because at the end of the day, God has given us all talents.
Yeah.
Now it's up to us to find out what the talent is. As
Hmm.
I state all the time, there's still things in me that I don't know.
Yeah.
But when he do return, he not gonna tell me, didn't I give you talents and you hid them?
Right. Jesus.
Yeah, no. That's not gonna happen on my account. Now somebody else, yeah, but not this one. Even
Yeah.
at 47, I'm still learning, and I'm still willing to learn and get better at being another better individual. Whether I'm singing, whether I'm acting, whether whatever it is that I'm doing.
Hmm.
And I don't listen to naysayers.
Yeah.
Let's pin this right here.
Yeah.
Negativity
Hmm.
is like cancer. And when it attaches itself to you, it begins to get in places that you had no clue or no idea that it could go.
Yeah. 100%.
And then one day, you get the aches and pains, you get the things that cancer does to your body. And you're trying to figure out, how did I get here?
Hmm.
Well, just your FYI, don't be around negative people.
Hmm. 100%.
Even the haters, even the ones who don't see what you see,
Yeah.
can talk you out of what God is saying to you. It
Preach.
don't have to make sense to you. It makes sense to me. And you
Yeah.
smile and keep it moving. I don't let anyone talk me out of what God has already showed me. It might not happen today, but it's gonna happen, because why? God is not a liar. So
Yeah.
that part.
Yeah.
So when we talk about um speaking those things as though they were, it
Hmm.
might not make sense to the next person, but this has already been spoken. Your parents already had something to do with this,
Yeah.
and they have shielded you and protected you from all those who want to snatch the egg.
Yes, ma'am.
I know you hear me.
Yeah. Hear you very
So
clearly.
another thing I'm gonna tell you, and it's free of charge. I'm not even gonna charge you for this. Is you an eagle, right?
Oh, what?
An eagle, the
What you mean?
bird,
Yeah.
the eagle.
Explain.
Okay. Now I'm really not gonna charge. I should charge you for this, because
Hmm.
all right. So there's all these different types of birds, right? We're gonna say that you're an eagle.
Okay.
Eagles, that's gonna be your assignment. So I need you to research the eagle,
Okay.
one of the baddest birds there is. When we talk about um big things when it comes to animals in the Bible, you have the eagle
Mm.
and the lion, in reference to Jesus, God, all of these wonderful things,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm fine.
Eagles got the longest wingspan.
Mhm.
Their ears, they can see and hear deep in water from way up in the sky.
All right.
They're the only bird that can fly close to the sun without being burned.
Wow.
It's so many wonderful things about an eagle. that other birds wish they could do.
Mm-hmm.
They fly high. Chickens think they can fly, but can only go so far.
Mm-hmm.
Are
Yep.
you a chicken?
No, no, ma'am.
What did I say you was?
An eagle.
All right. So eagles, you ain't never seen this.
Mm-hmm.
Eagles and chickens blending together.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen it?
No, ma'am.
Mm. So chickens can't go high because they chickens for one, and they can't fly. So sit
Yep.
down here with all the scary folk and eating the second half of whatever,
Mm-hmm.
the trash. They can't go.
Mm-hmm.
No. I want to be close to the sun.
Yeah.
Not only the SUN, but the SON.
Yeah. 100%.
Wherever he sends me, I'm gonna go. Whether it's high up or it's in the deep, I'm going.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that eagles can uh grab almost 3 times their own weight?
Oh yeah. 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 Yep. Yep.
Okay, then.
Yeah, that's why I don't
You know
mess with
you
you.
can do that. No, they can't. Almost to, and when we say, the bird is the coin of the United States, is the eagle, is it not?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna teach you something today for free. So, again, your homework assignment is to learn about the eagle,
Yes, ma'am.
even to the point of how they nurse, how they nest, how they rejuvenate, all of these wonderful things other birds cannot do.
Mm-hmm.
So wherever he say, that's it. I'm going. I don't need a whole bunch of people flocking with me. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Chickens do that.
Yeah. That's good. That's
All
right.
that clock, clock, clock. What? I don't need that. I can fly by myself.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So if somebody asks you, are you an eagle or are you a chicken? What's your answer?
I'm an eagle.
Okay. Now the next time we talk,
I get. Yeah. Yeah.
your homework
I'm
better
follow
be
quick.
done.
I'm gonna follow quickly next time.
Yes, please. So we almost at the end. Look at that.
Right.
I told you it was easy. Didn't I tell you that?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all about you. It's all about your journey. It's all about being inspired. Who are you inspired by? And
Mm-hmm.
why do you do what you do? Because at the end of the day, if you can't tell me why you do what you do, you need to stop doing it. Maybe I preach to myself. If you don't like what you doing, stop doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever went into a restaurant or some establishment and this person, the first person you see, had the worst attitude in the world? If you don't like your job, especially if you in customer service, please find something else to do. Don't come to work because I need something from you and your attitude is messing me up.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever experienced that? Yes, you.
Talk about act like people coming.
You know, like, have you been to an establishment and
Right.
there's somebody there who clearly don't want to be there?
Mm-hmm.
And you like in your head, well, if you're treating me like this,
Mm-hmm.
imagine 20 people later,
Right.
your feet hurt, whatever your attitude is, you should not be there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I've seen that a few times. In church. I've seen that. A few times.
Everywhere.
I see that everywhere.
The service is what we're supposed to be, a servant.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to give your service, don't be there.
100%.
It comes across even in music. It comes across in everything that you do. Again, if you don't love what you're doing, stop doing it
Mhm.
because you're affecting somebody else's spirit. Don't let me go down this hole. Please
Yeah,
don't.
it's not. Yeah, it's not. We don't gotta go down.
Please don't let me go down that spirit. Please
Yeah.
don't. All right, let me come back. Whew, let me get some water on that one. All right, so we at the part. I'm gonna really enjoy it. I'm gonna sit back on the couch and I'm gonna really enjoy this one. It says, "What's a song that will get you through every time?" And the other part of that, part B, is whatever that song is, you gotta sing it.
I bet. Oh, I got my guitar right here. I always
Go
gotta
ahead
be. You
and
always
take it
gotta be
out then.
ready. You always gotta be ready. Also, this is a song I wrote. It's called "Rest in Me." Make sure I'm in tune. Yeah, it's a song called "Rest in Me." I wrote this song. I feel like this song was very needed for me and for people that are trying, like, finding their calling in God. And it really speaks to the fact that when you're going through and seeking what God wants you to do, rest in Him, because it's so many things that will come against you, to fight against you and make you not want to step into it. Because if you're stepping into God's calling, you're gonna have to deal with the devil, because he don't like that at all. So it's fear and things that will come against you, but God says rest in Him. So the song's called "Rest in Me." So if you haven't heard it, you can hear it right now. I am reaching deeper, 'cause I may find out I might be a preacher. Oh, and I am longing for my ruler, so He can help me clearly see my future. But there's always more to this. There's trouble everywhere. Yes, I was made for this, but fear's a lot to bear. Whoa. But the Lord says, I'll never leave you. And nor will I forsake you. And sometimes fear can grab a hold of your feelings and your healing. But I will give you every opportunity to rest in me. So just rest in me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, man.
Wow. That was beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now you want me to sing after that? Like, who does that? Like, what? 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 You? I was supposed to sing after that. Um, I can't believe you did all that and then want me to sing after that. Like, who does that? Like, what? Okay, for all those who are on and y'all listening, I am not an artist. He's the artist. So don't judge me. If my voice crack, it's okay.
Mhm.
I'm putting this out here now. Just pray for my vocals right now. Just lift your hands up and we're gonna pray.
You got it.
All right. So I love old school songs. Like, are you familiar with James Cleveland?
Yes, ma'am.
So he has this song, God Is.
Mm-hmm.
Melvin
Chris,
Crispell.
no, he redid it.
Ooh, hoo, 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 hoo.
He killed that. Yeah, he killed that for
That ain't me. But however,
sure.
I'm just gonna do a little turnaround part in it.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna do the church announcement. We're gonna close the doors. We're gonna get ready for offering, and then we're gonna
Right.
let's see. God is the joy and the strength of my life. He moves all pain, misery, and strife. He promised to keep me, never to leave me, never ever come short of his word. I got to fast and pray, stay in the narrow way, keep my life clean every day. I want to go with him when he comes back. I come too far and I'll never turn back. God is. God is. God is. Oh, God is. God is my all and all.
Amen. Amen. Yes, ma'am.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho, yes, God is.
My own.
Yes, He is. When everything else may fail, God is. Um, when you're trying to figure stuff out,
Mhm.
and some of us want to be like somebody else, and all these wonderful things, all it don't matter. All I can say is God is my all in all. He's the only one that has never failed me.
Yeah. That's
He's
good.
the only one who has made ways out of no way.
Hmm.
But I'm not about to preach because, I feel it creeping up on this side,
Hmm.
and I ain't trying to do that tonight.
Yeah.
However, let's get ready for these church announcements. We thank God for Caleb tonight.
Thank you.
We
Thank
we thank God for his life. We thank God for his journey, and that we are here to see him be who God called him to be. So, the doors of the church is closed. Blessings. Main event. Are you familiar with and one
you. And no, no, say it again.
basketball and one?
Oh yeah, and one, yeah, yeah, and one, yeah, yeah.
So you familiar with the name main event, right?
Maybe, yeah.
You know he's on the show right now, right?
He is. I can't even.
Absolutely. Wally Dixon. That's
Oh,
my brother.
yeah.
And oh, see, you never know who knows who, huh?
Right.
Yeah. So let's get ready. Of course, Wally, thank you. And I know you're gonna share because you always do. My show, uh, through the likes of Wally Dixon, 95, I would say 85% of my guests I've never met in person over the time that I have been doing this. Um, so Wally has really been a big help to me when it comes to this podcast. So, Wally, this is Caleb. Caleb, this is Wally. Now you guys have met.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's get ready for the church announcements. I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I enjoyed myself. Sure.
See, it's
Thank
not as bad as people be thinking. Absolutely not. So in 2020, I had the opportunity to produce my first book, which is The Blueprint God's Design. And it talked about how God had to sit me down and restart because I was trying to do his job. We're not doing that. So again, it is out on Amazon. You can purchase the book there. You can put the title or the code in or my name and it will come up. I thank you in advance for that. May of 2024, I was able to write my second book, which is Can Prayer Change Things. It is also on Amazon. You can put the title in, my name, or the code, and it will come up. I am currently writing the second book to this. It's going to be a series. So again, look forward to that. If you want to continue to see this show, get to TV Land. My whole goal is to be the next Arsenio Hall, Ellen DeGeneres. That's me. So again, you can cash at me at Sunshine Camila. Again, I thank you in advance for all that you do, even in your support, if you're sharing everything that has anything to do with this show. Again, I thank you in advance for that. Again, as I stated, Wally Dixon was already in the building. This is his baby, Blacktop Street Ball Association, btsba.com. Please go support my brother. You will see and one again, but on a whole nother level. And you want to see where he's coming to, what city, and you'll see some of the other ones as owners this time. So again, don't forget, go to his website. If you know of people that you would love to have a conversation with me in the village, please inbox me at Sunshine Camila. Age doesn't matter. Race doesn't matter. Wherever you live does not matter because all of this is virtual. So again, let me know. You can inbox me on IG. You can email me. And it's me that's responding. I am big on supporting Black businesses, especially those who I know personally are doing awesome in their business. So if you never had ginger or turmeric tea, my friend Alita Cotton does the best tea ever in life. She is on Facebook at AYECEE. Her business is AC's Teas, 313-380-0321. She is happy to serve. The famous Peggy James. You know her as First Lady. You know her as a singer. If you didn't know she could sing, you got to chase her food, okay? Famous Catering, 586-222-8477. Again, Famous Catering, Peggy James, 586-222-8417. Please let her know I sent you. My birth sister actually raises quail, and she has an amazing garden. If you have questions on raising your own food, growing your own food, please inbox my sister on IG. She is Quail House Homestead. On Facebook, she is Yolanda Peoples, and that is my blood again. My baby, get it together, okay? And last but not least, I am a part of David Whitfield Productions. we will be in not even a concert. We are doing a live recording celebrating 25 years in ministry. Saturday, March 29th. Again, Saturday, March 29th at 5:35 p.m. at Citadel of Praise Church, 20280 Linden Street, Detroit, Michigan, 48223. I need you guys to go and support. I need you guys to buy tickets. We are limited right now on preferred seating. VIP is sold out and only have $25 general admission or $35 preferred seating. Please, please inbox me if you want to go. Come and have church with us. If you want to continue to find out about this young man with the $1,000,000 smile, Caleb, this is his website. Please go and support him. Please get his music. Please do everything to follow him. Do all those wonderful things because he is going somewhere. I promise you, as I stated before, once he leaves this show, he's gonna be booking busy. Okay.
My Instagram is Caleb Carroll Music. My YouTube is Caleb Carroll. You search my name up, and like she said, my music is on all digital outlets, all digital platforms. My first EP is The Word, and I just released a single called ATN. So go check those out.
So again, it's amazing time that I have with every guest. And tonight is no different. Again, I believe in 6 degrees of separation. You're literally one person away, one advice away, one help away from where you need to be in your destiny, proven over and over again since I started this show in 2020. If you're not following me, please do so on Facebook, and the YouTube channel is the name of the show, Keeping It Real Conversations with Sunshine. Again, our last moments on here will be dedicated to Caleb. Sir, what you got to say?
Thank you for having me, Sunshine. I appreciate you for having me. This is a good talk. I appreciate the wisdom that you was pouring into me and the encouragement. And I thank you everyone who's tuning in who tuned in. And like I said, go support my music. Go support my YouTube and everything. So, and like I said, just stay with God, choose Jesus every single day as He told me to. You'll see the other side.
And don't forget your homework to study the eagle. Yes. So again, I will be back next Tuesday with my fellow choir members. And we're going to talk about, of course, the live recording. We're going to have a wonderful conversation as usual. And again, I thank you for everyone who has tuned in. Of course, share. And I will see y'all next week. Holla. Peace.